Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of the Park Streamers Hangout. And tonight we have our extra special guest here, Adventures in the Park. Why don't we start with you? Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Hello, everyone. Adventures in the Park on YouTube, Instagram, which I'll be using tonight, and TikTok. I don't do much with Twitter or Facebook.
All right, and we'll go to your right, I think, Theme Park Casual.
Yeah, I know it's always backwards. Like, well, we're looking at it on the screen. Anyways, I'm Theme Park Casual. Hey, kids. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter /X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual.
All right, perfect. And Barry Place 28.
Hey everyone, how's it going? You can find me at BarryPlace28 on YouTube, Instagram, X, I almost said Twitter, and of course on TikTok. So thanks for joining the show tonight.
All right.
Oh,
We're getting bitten by the lag monster.
There we go.
Everything looks good on my end.
Okay. Are we good here?
We can hear you now.
Okay. And so it's my turn. Cordy in California on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok are all Cordy in California. And then, of course, on X, Cordy in Cali 1. I remembered. All right. So tonight, we're coming to the end of the Halloween season, going into the kind of Christmas or winter season. So we just wanted to cover a few things. We're kind of in that transition. And I believe we are going to start with, now I brain freeze. I think it was the prices, right? We're talking about
price increases. Oh,
price
yes.
increases. Let's see, I didn't want to think about it, so.
No one wants to think about it.
Oh, price increases. Talk about, well, it's not unexpected. I mean, Disney tends to raise their prices, once per year. Sometimes, I remember it that there was 2 times a year that they believe was February and sometimes March and then October, where we would be getting our price increases. These ones, they don't appear to be too bad for some of the levels, but some have gone, nearly 10% up. You can see on the screen right there, we have our tier 0 that did not get any price increases. So the absolute cheapest day you'll be able to go to Disneyland or DCA is $104. And it looks like number of valid days through April 30th, there's 25 of those days. And as you go through the list, you can see that the tier 4 and tier 5, which are actually in tier 6, those have the most number of days at that level of pricing. And these are single day, single park tickets. These are not park hoppers. If you want a park hopper, it's another $65, I believe, on top of.
It sure is.
On top of that. Yeah, $65 is the new park hopper add-on price, which went up from 60 to 65. So it's getting more expensive, but I do want to remind everybody that in January, February, and part of March, Disney is running a promotion for children's tickets for only $50.
Mm-hmm.
And that is good on any day. So if you're going on a tier 6, tier 5, you're saving a ton of money. You're saving over $100 per ticket for the kids. And what's not shown on here is the Magic Key prices have also gone up. And some of them have gone up minimally. I believe the Inspire Key went up, was it $50? I think it went up from $15.99 to $16.49.
Yep, sure did.
but the Believe key went up from $10.99 to $12.49. So that's a decent amount of increase there. And as it closes the gap on the Inspire key, it starts to become less and less of a value if you plan to use the key quite a bit. So I don't know how you guys feel about the price increases. I'm to the point where it's like, I understand it. You know, it's part of doing business. Prices are going up everywhere. Disney is not going to be any different. So, are you guys shocked by this, or do you feel, you know, they're within range of, you know, doing proper increases,
Are you
but
guys
not?
lagging?
No, I can hear.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Are you?
A resident tech person making sure that everybody's still here.
Check.
Well, I was turning down my volume. I want to make sure I didn't kill anything.
Okay. So what do you guys think? Is Disney going too far with these ticket prices? Are they right in line with the rest of everything else we're feeling at the pump, at the grocery store, everywhere else? What's your thoughts?
I'll let Steven and Cordy chime in first.
So I think sometimes we're a little bit hard on Disneyland because we just, I don't know why, but I think we all kind of do it where we're like, oh man, they're raising prices on food. They're raising prices on parking. Yet you'll see if you were to compare like parking, it's the same. And there could be like higher. I think the parking went up as well. Something went up. There was something else went up.
Parking went up to $35. And
Yeah.
then I think we've discussed before on the show that the food prices have been, you know, starting to, you know, ratchet up slightly. And, you know, on a smaller ticket item, obviously it's a little bit harder to see a, 10% increase, you know, but yeah, everything's been going up.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, having an Inspire key, we were probably had the lesser of the increases, right? My daughter has the Believe key. So for her, and she's just so busy, she may not renew next year, but we renewed right before the price increase. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, lucky you.
Right. Yeah, no, and thankfully that happened, but it's right. It's supply and demand. If we're going to keep buying the passes, because right, to be honest, they'll have the same thing next year, I'm sure. And we'll all buy a pass, and why lower it if there's demand? So, but I don't think they're out of line at this point. I think a lot of companies, including Disney, are kind of playing catch up. We didn't see this last year, so I just think it's a little bit of catch up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, your thoughts?
My thoughts are we're sort of ahead of the game because I was surprised they didn't raise the keys in August when the majority, probably over 50%, that's when they first became available on sale. I was really expecting a price increase then. And historically, I've had a key or a pass for like 20 years or more. They'd always have 2 increases a year. One would always be in February. They wouldn't announce it. It'd just be in the morning. You'd see an increase. Then they did it again during the year at one point. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm ahead of the game because I renewed. I did expect a price increase from the, what did we pay, $15.99? So, and they only raised that key $50. So that's still a win. I understand that if somebody doesn't have an Inspire key, yeah, that went up a couple of $100 on the second key. The parking alone at $30, I think I went like 62 times last year, would have been the price of the key. So I'm perfectly happy where it's at. Everything else is going up, so not much you can do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What you think, Bob?
Well, look, I mean, I'm all for capitalism, and I figured this is going to happen eventually because last year, but then again, I wasn't a Magic Key holder until the end of the year when they finally released them again. As far as the Magic Key is concerned, yeah, I'm not thrilled that they raised it $50 for the Inspire Key. But considering that, I'm a streamer and I go all the time, To me, it's still worth it. It is a little hard to swallow when you see other theme parks like Knott's Berry Farm or even Universal Studios or even Six Flags. I understand they're not, some of them are not on the same par as Disneyland, but they're significantly cheaper or more inexpensive than what Disneyland is. And sometimes I kind of like go, oof, how does Disney justify that? Especially when it comes to the tickets. Before, when they were charging $179 for the tier 6 ticket, I was like, ooh, that's pretty darn expensive. And the thing was, I was having to buy those mostly before I got my pass, which was to me and it was ridiculous.
You're cutting out, Bob.
Oh, am I back?
You're back.
I think you're back now.
Okay, sorry about that. So the thing is, when I had to buy tickets for my daughter and I, when we were just going without a pass, to me, it was almost too expensive to go and to justify. So I'm not thrilled to see it go up to $194 for a tier 6 because unfortunately most of the tickets, tend to be towards that. I mean, I know it says here is only 45, days, that are at tier 6, but I mean, the tiers are very close too. So also you can see the calendar here because this shows a calendar of all the different days. I know they list them on the previous page, but you can kind of see here what those tiers are. And obviously, the top tier are these yellow ones here that you'll pay $194 for. So am I surprised? No. A little disappointed that it went up, 8% for the top tier ticket. It could have been a lot more, and thankfully it wasn't for the Inspire key. But to me, it's worth it just because of how many times I go. But if I didn't go that many times, I might have a hard time justifying it. But considering the fact that they used to do this all the time, I'm kind of used to it. I'm not happy about it, of course, that the prices go up so much, but I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what the mix is between the number of people going through the gate that are Magic Key holders versus single day ticket or multi-day ticket, individual ticket holders, because that would tell us a lot. Because the park is not necessarily slow by any stretch. On any given day, I mean, we've discovered that Mondays seem to be worse than most Saturdays, it feels. So, and the fact that they're not even selling Magic Keys currently, you cannot purchase a brand new Magic Key. It's only renewals. Are they trying to shift anything? Are they, happy with the number of Magic Key holders? Are they trying to reduce the number by not allowing any new purchases, and hopefully with some price increases they'll knock a few of them out? Are they trying to thin that number a little bit? So, and then if they are leaning toward that, they're finding that the lion's share of people coming through the gate are Magic Key holders, it would make sense that the day ticket prices have to go up because there's fewer of them coming through the gate. So to make up the money to be able to cover all the operational costs and to have a profit, yeah, they've got to find that money somewhere because the Magic Key holders aren't paying that daily price. And they're coming in, filling up the park. So I'm just curious what that is, what that mix would be. But of course, Disney doesn't release those numbers. It's all speculation from people.
Well, speaking of speculation, 2 weeks ago we were wondering why are they doing these, $50 child's tickets? Well, I think we know why now.
Yeah, to soften the blow.
Soften the blow. Oh, it's only gonna cost you $194, but hey, $50 for your kids, so it's gonna be a lot cheaper. Yeah, I think that's what happened there. But interesting.
Yeah, so I know for me, the family we're debating on whether everybody's going to get a Magic Key renewal. So that's what we're in talks about right now. Most likely I will be at the very least renewing. And the only reason is because, well, I do the live streams there. So it's got a little bit of a benefit for me. But I probably will be upgrading to the Inspire key, just because we purchased the Believe key last year, figuring, we'll probably go maybe twice a month. And so it would probably be right around, the cost of one person having the Inspire key. And boy, were we wrong.
Yeah. Well,
And are they allowing
G-Man.
upgrades?
From what I can tell, yes, because my Mrs. Casual and Casual Junior, their passes or their Magic Keys were activated a week before mine. And when I went in to see about renewal, you can select any Magic Key. It looked like you could even get the enchant, which I thought was interesting. I thought they were trying to basically stop that one, except for people who had the enchant key. But so that it looks, from what I could tell going through it, we didn't finish the process, of course, but when it comes to the drop down to select your key, you can select any of them.
Okay, well, that's good. It's so confusing. You never know what.
Well, yeah, that's what I was afraid, that because they had stopped any purchases, I thought that renewal only meant you stay at your same level if you want. And if that was the case, I probably would not be renewing, because at that point it becomes too expensive to be paying the higher, initial cost of the key and then the 50% parking every time. It would have just been probably not worth it at that point for me.
Yeah, so I was bringing up, G-Man said, long gone are the days of going to Disneyland on a whim. Yeah, I remember those days.
I know.
Yeah,
Unless you got a pass.
Yeah, and it's really weird because, if you think about a trip to Disney World, there's so much more involved because of all the hotels that you could choose from, and then if you decide to stay off property, all of the logistics of it are crazy when, dining windows open 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. I don't even know that's how crazy it is. And so you're planning out. And it's funny though, because when me and Miss Casual went to Disney World in the year 2000, I had every single day planned. I had all our, reservations for meals. I had stuff, okay, this is where we can, just kind of wander and do whatever we want. But this is the day we're going to this park. This is the day we're going to this park. This is where we're having lunch. This is where we're having dinner. So it's like, am I complaining about something that I would always do? But it seems like to me now, I look at it and I'm like, gosh, I don't think I'd want to deal with that level of pre-planning for a trip like that, especially when I'm spending that kind of money. It's like, I kind of want to go and relax a little bit. I want to be able to just kind of wander and have those moments of just happening upon, hey, let's go on Pirates of the Caribbean right now. It's like, oh, well, we don't have a lightning lane for it. And, our lightning lane's at 6:00 or whatever. It's like, it kind of, really takes the fun out of a vacation when it's that kind of level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan says, is the park still as crowded? They can jack up those rates as long as those turnstiles keep spinning. Yes, so there's a lot of people going. But here's the funny one right here. Chad says, you guys are giving them plenty of money with all the ice cream you buy. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah.
Too funny. Yes, we do buy a lot of ice cream, Dole Whips, you name it.
But exactly, that's exactly what Cordy said, though, earlier, was we keep giving them money and the parks stay crowded until basically enough people close their wallet and say, we're not going. There's not much that's going to change.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah. And I that's the thing. It's like, they're never going to lower the ticket prices. You'll get maybe some ticket deals, but yeah, these prices are the lowest you're going to see from here on out.
Well, look at the bright side. If you do the math and Inspire key, you only have to go 7.5 times to make it pay. We all go 7.5 times in 2 months. It is a big outlay of cash, but that's what the numbers come down to. It's 7.5 times to make the key pay for itself.
Well, Dan's got another bright side. He says one good thing about these price increases, streamers may have seem a balance in viewership, so more people will enjoy Disneyland vicariously through live streams, and parking is free. So there you go. Thank you, G-Man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, like they did this kind of this is standard right before the holiday season when it's kind of be, you know, peak. We think summer, but I beg to differ that the winter holidays are busier and more in demand than summer. So it's just that perfect timing. People are going to want to go. They're going to want to see it at Christmas time, and all the people that didn't go last year, right? They're going to want to go this year. So I think there's been a big influx of people who held off on going for whatever reason, and this year it's really spiked a lot, as we can attest to being in the parks, right? Kind of comparing last year to this year. And then after, when we get to kind of the slower season, right? Once mid-January, end of January comes, they're going to do another SoCal, you know, 3 1 park ticket deal anyways to get them to spring. So, yeah, obviously they're not stupid when it comes to bringing in the cash. So
Jen's Crochet had a question. She says, I'm curious why the price increase so high for the middle tiers is to have people only buy the top tier key and the bottom tier key only. They will make the most money that way. Just a thought.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to push people into either, you know, going up and paying more if you're going to be showing up a lot, or go for the lower price key and you have fewer days that you're allowed to be in the park. So I think they're trying to, they're trying to figure out how to get that number of key holders versus day ticket purchases to be much more in their favor. I think you guys remember, I think it was last year's financial report where there was the unfavorable mix, and everybody thought that was a dig at the key holders, when that's just the term that they use, because it was like it was the mix of key holders versus day ticket holders was not favorable for their profit margins. That's all it meant. It wasn't that, you know, we're unfavorable people. It was just that for the profit margins, it wasn't the right mix from the accounting side. And so they're trying to find that perfect balance of having enough key holders that, you know, people are happy and, you know, they're churning through and they're making money off of that group, but also having a good experience for the day ticket holders, so that when they spend these kind of prices, they go back home and tell their friends, oh, we had such a wonderful time at Disneyland. And that's where they're trying to get. And by part of what that means is ticket prices have to go up to start thinning people out and moving people into different categories.
Yeah. Apparently, no, it doesn't care. It just says, I don't complain about Disney. I'll spend any money with Disney.
And those are the fans that they love. They're the ones that are like, yeah, you know, we're going to raise the prices, and you're going to be the ones that get to come in and have a wonderful day, because hopefully it's a little bit less crowded, you know, or, you know, hey, you paid the extra money for Genie Plus. Hey, you paid for a Lightning Lane. You paid for a VIP tour. We're going to give you a better, you know, viewing area for the fireworks, for the parade. You're going to get in, you know, a shorter line to get on these rides. You know,
well, Cordy and I got
why they do
with
it.
Disney. Cordy and I got even with Disney. Cordy, how many magic bands did we get for $1?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. But we're sharing with people.
Here, you want to know what's funny though? You guys are probably nowhere near the worst.
What's that?
Right. No, I'm sure, because that's why they had to put it right, a hold on it. They kind of like stopped it and said, you know, put limits. So, yeah.
I can only get so many in that locker.
Crazy.
You're why I was only able to get one.
Hey, real quick. I know this is separate, but Kaylee has said, can you talk about the pros and cons if they still have paper fast passes? But I think the short and skinny of it is, Kaylee, is that they obviously wanted to go electronic. They did, and it was working fine with the previous plan they had, obviously, with the Max Pass. I enjoyed it. I liked it until they, obviously, started charging, a lot more money. And then obviously they changed to the Genie Plus, and the Genie Plus to me is not really working out as well. But considering the fact that all the other theme parks were charging for things like the fast passes, Disney finally said, oh, we need to make money on this. So as nice as it was for all those years of having the paper fast pass and getting it for free, Disney, is out to make money. They're, capitalists just like all the other parks, and they wanted to, go ahead and see what they could do. And now they are. It's just unfortunate that, the Genie Plus is not as good as what the Max Pass was. So,
yeah, I was going to say, if they really wanted to, kind of figure out how to make people happy, Genie Plus would have been where they increased the price. Because I think they could probably bump Genie Plus up to $150, and they would probably still be making money because you'd have enough people dropping off and still people buying into it. But it would make it a better experience for everybody involved, because the people that paid the $150 would have shorter lines with fewer people in that lightning
you hear it
lane.
in line every day. You hear people talking about this is supposed to be the
shorter line.
And
now remember, I was just in Disneyland Paris earlier this year, and they do that way. They charge, I think I paid like $200 some odd for it. With the conversion rate, but basically per person. But it was one-time use of like a lightning lane. The cool thing was you didn't have to sign up for a time, and you could use it anytime you wanted. You had a QR code, you use it whenever you wanted. The lines were really short, but it was very expensive. So they are doing that. It's, at Disneyland Paris. I'm not sure about the other parks, but at Japan and China, but definitely over in Paris, they are doing that, and they call it the Premier. They don't call it Lightning Lane. They don't call it Genie Plus. I did like that a lot better than Genie Plus, but of course I didn't like how much I had to spend. But then again, you look at Universal. If you want to, Universal Express, I mean, it's pretty expensive. And you get the one time only, or you can get the unlimited. It's almost worth it just to pay the extra 40 or 50 or whatever it is to do the unlimited. But you're still talking about spending a couple $100 on Express on top of your ticket, or depending on if you have a pass, then it's not so bad. Especially if you have if you do have the top platinum pass, I think it is, you get frontline once for every ride, but only after 3 p.m. now, which is a bummer because they used to do that for the whole entire day. So, but everyone does it differently. But good question, Kaylee.
Or you can do what I do. I get free Genie Plus every trip. It's called Rope Drop. I get up to 15 rides in before lunch.
Or rope close.
It's called
that is true.
Free Genie. It's called Free Genie Plus Rope Drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can open park or close the park for.
Yeah, I was going to say, and Cordy does hers with Power Hour.
Yes. you can, as fast as you can walk is as fast as you can get on those attractions.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So speaking of price increases and and ticket prices, let's shift over to something that's a hard ticket event. This is an after hours thing. We know many of them here at Disneyland. We had Oogie Boogie Bash is the big one, and then we've seen Throwback Night, Sweethearts Night. This year for Christmas, Disney World is doing a new one at Hollywood Studios called Jollywood Nights. And Barry Place, you have some details on that.
Yeah, so they announced that they were going to do Jollywood Nights over at Walt Disney World. And this is going to be a festive after-hours event this year. To be honest with you, I was wondering, when are they going to capitalize on this? And I guess I thought about that too soon because they did. With all the nights they have, I mean, they have some really neat after-hour parties. And they did Halloween. I guess it was only a matter of time before they actually did a Christmas one. But this is going to be a nighttime party on select nights between November 11th to December 20th of 2023. This is only at Walt Disney World, so they're not doing it over here at Disneyland. Although I'm sure if it's successful, they will be, doing that as well over at Disneyland eventually. But you got the glitz and glitter galore, so you're going to step into shimmery holiday scenes with dapper decor and themed celebrations where you can dance the night away. So it sounds like it's going to be kind of like a fun nighttime experience leading up to the end of the holiday season. They are going to have some merry mashups, so you'll be able to delight in the Yuletide entertainment, including live bands, all new stage show, and the Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam nighttime spectacular. And of course, they're going to have attractions and characters, so you can enjoy your favorite attractions with lower wait times, which is always a great thing about the after-hour events. And you'll be able to meet some of the beloved characters for Spirited Season's greetings. Considering the fact that they do this during Oogie Boogie, and there's some great characters you get to meet during Oogie Boogie, I'm sure they're going to have some great, seasonally spirited characters for the Jollywood event as well. But they are going to have some really cool exclusive shows. So some of those shows are going to be like the Disney Holidays in Hollywood. This is going to be an all new stage show. It's kind of like the glitz and glamour of the vintage Hollywood TV specials that they used to do back in the day. And it's going to be a contemporary twist with some holiday magic at the Theater of the Stars. They're also going to do a show called What's This? It's a Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along at the Hyperion Theater, which I think is going to be great. That sounds like it would be a lot of fun. That's something I wish they would bring over here to Disneyland. That sounds like something that would be really cool to do. And who knows? They haven't announced anything, but maybe they would, because that's something they would be able to do very easily, I think, at our Hyperion Theater at DCA. But you'll be able to sing along with the Pumpkin King to all of his beloved songs from the film. So that would be kind of cool. The Jingle Bell Jingle Jam, again, that's the nighttime spectacular that I was talking about earlier. And then they also have themed entertainment. So you've got, you're going to be welcomed to Jollywood with the DJ speeding holiday mixes on Hollywood Boulevard. You can saunter over to Echo Lake for a throwback bash to stir up your nostalgia, and even spot Powerline Max, Phineas, and Ferb. Hey, Powerline Max, cool. From the Goofy movie. You can head down Commissary Lane and discover a holiday street fair filled with lively energy at the Holiday Fiesta in La Calle. And then it's a Latin holiday music fills the air as musicians play along the walkways. You're cordially invited to the Twilight Soiree at the Tip Top Club, which is a swinging celebration in the courtyard of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So you can sip cocktails and unwind in style as the live band swoon and croon the holiday tunes. But that one does say its capacity is limited, so it sounds like you're going to have to get there kind of early. They're going to have jazz for the holidays at the Hollywood Brown Derby, so that'll be kind of cool. And then obviously you can join the mobile walk-up list for Jazzy Holidays at the Hollywood Brown Derby. And if you want to do that, the way it's going to work is that you have to check the availability on the app or by scanning a QR code located at the restaurant's lobby. And then there's no need to visit the host stand, check availability. If there is availability, then you can use your app to actually use your party to join the walk-up list. And you can also confirm your party details. And then once your table is ready, you'll be notified to proceed to the location. So that's kind of cool. They are going to have some really cool savory snacks, of course. Some holiday favorites like your Sandy Claus hot cocoa. They're going to have delish dishes, and you can check out some of the baked spring rolls they're going to have. The craft cocktails like the Twilight Daiquiri, which that looks pretty good. And then you got simmering sips. So you can have alcohol as long as you're 21 and over. And of course, sensational sweets like the colorful Christmas tree cookies. So they got some pretty cool things they're going to have. Obviously, they're going to have the Disney PhotoPass service. You're going to be able to ride all the different rides there at Hollywood Studios. But it's going to be pretty cool. And of course, it's a night of dapper delights. So they're asking people to dress to impress and get glammed up for the occasion. Obviously, you can buy tickets, and the event dates and times are showing here that they're actually, wow, look at that. They're already sold out for Saturday, November 11th and November 18th. 18th, but they still have tickets available for Monday, November 20th, Monday, November 27th, Wednesday, November 29th, Monday, December 4th, Wednesday, December 6th, Saturday, December 16th, Monday, December 18th, and Wednesday, December 20th. So it looks like they're just doing it on Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays. And this is going to take place from 8:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Good to see that they're actually keeping it late, but kind of weird that they're starting it so late as well. You can access Hollywood Studios as early as 7 p.m. On the date that your ticket is valid. So they're letting people in at 7 p.m. and it goes to 7:30, which is kind of interesting because basically you've got 5.5 hours, but the event doesn't start till 8:30, right? So you really only have 4 hours for the event. So that's, I don't know. To me, I don't know if that's enough time. And we're going to talk about that coming up because obviously with Theme Park Casualty, he's going to be talking about Oogie Boogie since he's just there. I'm wondering, do you guys think that's enough time to have that event for the after hours?
Again, this is Walt Disney World, everyone.
Right.
We don't get this.
True.
Yeah, true. We don't get this yet.
It's not us.
Yeah, not yet, but I'm sure it's coming soon.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think so. We didn't get anything last year. I don't think we're gonna. Just like with the foods, they'll have like all of these like, you know, their like holiday menu is going to be 2-3 times more, just basically because there's more parks, right? So there's more to like spread it out in the hotels, but
Yeah.
I just don't feel that we get the same level.
Yeah, I see that in the comments. Everyone's asking, is this Walt Disney World or Disneyland? It's just Walt Disney World. So it's happening over there. It's not happening at our Disneyland. But I guess my question was, is 4 hours really enough time?
I don't know. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going on, but it doesn't seem like it's too much stuff. Yeah. I think 4 hours is probably good if you're go. And you have you have a plan of attack, and the two soiree places, I can't remember which one of them's at the Brown Derby, the ones that have limited capacity, as long as those keep a capacity moving so that it can, absorb, more and more people through the night. Because that's going to be one of the things where if those two places become so jammed that it's like, if you don't get there and get in at the beginning, it's like you're going to either be in, waiting and hopefully get in at like, 11:45, and then you got to drop whatever you're doing and get over there kind of thing. That would be the only part where I'm kind of like, that seems like it might be a little rough. But everything else, it seems appropriate. But I did look at the food list and drink list, like the full blog post on that. There's no way you can try everything. I mean, like it would probably take 3 trips for you to try all of those food items. Never mind the fact that you got to wait in line for them, but just the sheer number of food items is beyond anything. You can't do it all in one night unless it's like, if all 4 of us went and we said, okay, here's your list, here's your list, here's your list, and we all go try different stuff and scatter and do it all at the same time, try to do everything all at the same time. But if you're going as, husband and wife or something like that, you better pick, your 3 items that you're going to try. And there's a lot of stuff, lot of stuff.
And here I wanted to share this with you just so you guys are aware of how much this is going to cost. So if you check it out here for November 20th, because the other 2 dates are sold out, it's $179. And look, with the tax, $190.64. The other 2 nights seem to be $159. Looks like $159, $169 for these 2 dates, $169. So you know why? It's probably because this week is the week of Thanksgiving. It's expensive, yeah.
It seems odd though, doesn't it? I mean, you would think that the ones that as you get closer to Christmas would start to get more expensive, but
right. So here's the other thing, right? So what's that?
Oh, I was just curious if anybody in the chat was planning on going to Walt Disney World this Christmas. Just curious if they were.
Cordy, I
don't know.
thought
We'll
you
see
and
what
I
they
were just
say.
going for the day.
Yeah.
So
to
look at
fun.
this.
I'm like, what's going on?
Cordy, I thought you and I were going
So
just to
they
ride
also
fun
have
for the day.
Mickey's Very Merry Christmas.
24-hour trip.
Not even 24, same day.
Yeah. Well, look at this. So they also have Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party that's happening at the Magic Kingdom, right? So Jollywood's happening at Hollywood Studios. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. So they're having two different after-hour events happening. And these ticket events start on the 9th of November, and they go all the way until November 22nd. So it's a little bit longer, but these definitely get more expensive the closer you get to Christmas. And you can see here, it starts at $149. So it's $169 with tax, and then it goes up to $179. A couple dates here go back to $169. Oh, it's because that's the week of Thanksgiving again. Then it goes back up to $169 or $179 again. Oops, sorry, I clicked on the November. And it looks like it's $179 for adults and $169 for kids. But then as you get closer, the very last week goes all the way up to $199 for adults and $189 for kids. That's pretty expensive. And let me go back on that one because I'm wondering. Oops, no, they want my opinion on stuff. Let me go back to the. Give me 1 second here. I was trying to go back to the Mickey. Okay, there it is. So for this one, let me bring the screen back up for everyone so you can see it. So this one, again, it's a festive event, November 9th through the 22nd. Obviously, you can ride your favorite attractions, but they have Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time Fireworks Show, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time Parade, and Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration. And then they're going to have lively dance parties too. So they're going to have Club Tinsel and the Disney Junior Jingle Jam. And then you'll be able to see the seasonal sights and suites, character greetings, and then decked out attractions. So that's what they're planning for that one. So they're still doing something at the Magic Kingdom, but yeah, they're going to do two different after-hour events. Interesting.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Mickey's Christmas party one at Magic Kingdom, I believe you can walk by. I don't know if it's all drinks, but I believe they give you at least hot chocolate as much as you want. So like there's certain restaurants where you go and you can just go get a hot chocolate. And I think they even like have cookies or something at some of the restaurants. And those are included and you can go as many times as you want.
Let me see. Look it up here on the seasonal suites. Oh, here it is. These cookies and cocoa. These sweet treats are available and at designated locations around the park at no additional charge. There you go. Good point. Wow.
So there's at least one
that's a good
little
deal.
added benefit.
That's worth the airfare. There you go. You get hot cocoa if you go out there.
You know what I was wondering though? I was wondering though, what are the time? A lot more dates. So this one starts at 7 p.m. and goes till midnight. So you're getting 5 hours for this one, but you can get in as early as 4 p.m. for the event. So you get a little more time for this one.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're doing that for the Jollywood.
Something again we'll talk about when we talk about the time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems really odd that they're making the Jollywood one such a short time. Maybe it's just because that one is kind of. It seems like it's aimed more at adults.
I mean, it is aimed more at adults, but still, I think that to me, because it's aimed at adults, it should be longer. And especially if, maybe they're worried about, the fact that, it's 21 and over, a lot of drinks, for the adults. I mean, it's not only 21 and over, but, they're expecting a lot of adults to come. So,
What do you think,
I don't
Steve?
know.
We haven't heard from you.
But that is
About what? Going to Disney World? I'm all for going
Yeah,
to
Steve, what do you
Tron.
think?
Going to Tron. would you do the little the
Jollywood
after hour
and
Christmas
Mickey's
parties?
Very Merry Christmas.
No. I want to go just to ride Tron.
All right.
One track mind.
Yeah, I was going to say. So unless
funny.
we're going on Tron, Steve's just going to stay at Disneyland.
That's right.
I know Steve has
Wait.
some a
Yeah.
topic to cover for us since
Okay.
we moved
Let's
it over.
liven up this party. So no more talk. We're going to do some action now. So I'm going to switch over to here. So the main reason I go to Disneyland is for the photography. So I consider myself a storyteller. So I tell stories through my pictures. So enough talk. Start off with how to make an attraction more attractive in the way of a story. So first we'll start with Gadget's Coaster. Here's just the ride by itself.
If my calculations are correct.
By the way, you can't go on there with a camera anymore, technically. So I had a chest strap. So this is a ride, and you can say, okay, well, I've been on a ride. It looks kind of boring, and blah blah blah. So the question is, how do you spruce it up and make it a story? So we'll cut it here, and you think, okay, here's how you make it a story. You tell a story by starting with something, and then you finish with the goal. Adding music to a reel or a short makes a huge difference. Besides the editing, is the key. And how do you make a good story in 60 seconds is hard. And the most important part is the transition in the music to which you're main the attraction.
Sounds like a
much
horror
better than the first one.
I like the music.
Is this a kid's coaster? Because I'm scared now.
Now, keep in mind, I had to go on this 5 times. The cast member let me go on without getting off in order to get what I needed. Now, that'll scare all the kids. So, next, we'll do another show of a story that took me almost 2 hours to film. And let me find that. Okay.
Wow, that's a long time.
So now I want to
2
tell
hours.
a story about riding Smugglers Run. So you could go on the attraction in the same. Yeah, well, the first part of this, you'll see why. So if you look at this, how often have you walked under this tunnel with no people? You know how long I had to wait there to get this? I literally shot it probably 15 times because someone would keep walking in my shot. So now I'll play it through. So I'm telling a story about riding Smugglers Run instead of just going on the attraction. Again, I like to use scary music. So now we're establishing the Millennium Falcon. And keep in mind, we have to do this all within about 60 seconds. That's all the reel is allotted. Okay, so now isn't that more interesting than just sitting on the ride? Now I'll go into some character interaction. I like doing a lot of character interactions, and I have a couple of funny ones. If I can just get to them. Okay, so here's one of me and my future wife, Cruella.
Ooh.
Oh, that's perfect. Say hi to everybody.
Oh, it's moving, darling. Hello.
It's moving,
I'm here
yes.
with your marvelous friend. Your friend,
Mr. C.
Mr. C. Come and see me sometime, darling.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be right over.
Cheerio.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, and then my favorite one.
She couldn't get away from you fast enough.
Yeah, sure. Let me find my favorite
Just
one.
teasing. Gotta give you a hard time, Steve.
Okay, as long as we're passing this one up. So here's my best, I'm not going to say selling reel because I don't make any money off of it. So this one had almost 5 million views, and they thought this was the real Johnny Depp. And to tell you the truth, I did too. This had to be Johnny Depp. Now, if you look at him, other than seeing the tattoos that I couldn't see, this looks like Johnny Depp. I mean, or they got someone who looked exactly like him. So now let me find my favorite interaction with the Mad Hatter and Alice. Let's see. It's easy to spot. It's there somewhere.
We have the Mad
Oh, here
Hatter
we
in the
go.
chat too.
So a lot of times you can get the cast members, they're willing to like cooperate with you. So watch this.
What's your name?
Steve.
Steve. Steve has a message for you, and it goes like this. We're at Disneyland having fun, and you're not.
That's rude. He didn't say that. You said that. He didn't say that. He's not from here. Well, no.
It's not. And what's your name?
Steve.
Steve. Steve has a message.
Now that's one of my favorite ones. So now let's go back to
That's
coasters.
fun.
I mean, I have a lot
That's
of
a good
videos,
one.
so we could just jump around here. Oh, so if anybody is afraid and claustrophobic to ride the submarines, I had my best experience about a month ago. I got to ride the sub all by myself. If you're claustrophobic, don't do this. But Cordy's going to join me the next time. Right, Cordy?
Wow, no one in there.
Nope. That's what you get when you road side.
G'day, this is the captain speaking. Now that we're underway, I'd like to welcome you aboard. As the conditions of our voyage may be unpredictable, please remain seated at all times. As we leave the coast behind and head towards open water, you'll notice that this is a popular spot for divers searching for exotic fish.
You need to go to Disneyland, you can just watch all my reels.
Right, runner, 20 degrees. Set course directly over the lost city.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Stand by for weather watch.
Radar 1, standing by.
Our destination today is quite extraordinary, a newly erupting deep water volcano.
Still nobody there.
Amazing.
Still nobody there. Okay, now let's talk about some coasters. How to spruce up coasters. Again, we're talking about photography and just showing the audience how to make things interesting. So we're going to go on the Matterhorn now. That is my #1 attraction at Disneyland. And my record on that is 7 times without getting off. So when you do a coaster, we'll go back to a Incredicoaster in a minute. Let me just spin up my, okay. So how do you spruce up the Matterhorn from the front seat? Everybody likes the front seat, but the front seat is kind of boring because all you see is the track and the jitters of the track. So what you do is you go on multiple times and you sit in the front seat, then you sit in the back. And then I'm going to show you a comparison of sitting in the middle of how much more of a flow that it has from a filming standpoint. And what we'll do is we'll cut. How many times you get to see that view from the Matterhorn? Again, music and editing are probably the two most important things to get a good read on. Now, if I just was sitting in the front seat, that would be kind of boring. Now let's show you what happens when you sit in my favorite row, row 4. And the reason row 4 is good is because you have a gap between the person in front of you and where you're sitting. Let me just find that. Reels. Okay, so now my favorite row. What it does is it smooths out the ride and it gives you a better feel of movement without being so jerky, except for your back. And now we add some music to make it even better. And you see how smoother this looks? Same camera. See how it smooths it out. On the street, inside your head, on every beat, and the beats alive, deep inside. The pressure's high, just to stay alive. Cause the heat is on. And at the very end, he says, "Can you feel it?" I wanted to see how many people got it. And yeah, I could feel it in my back. Caught up in the action. I've been looking out for you. Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? So I had one person comment and said, "Yeah, I can feel it."
I feel like I want to watch Beverly Hills Cop now. Listen to that song.
What? That was the whole point of that.
That's hilarious.
So, now this is how you spruce up the Jungle Cruise. Let's stay with one more coaster, two more coasters. So Incredicoaster, I like Incredicoaster, and the best place to sit on Incredicoaster is in rows 3 or 5. Again, row 1, all you're going to see is the front of the track. Not too exciting, but when you sit in row 3 or 5 or even maybe 7, what you'll see is this. The heat is on the street. And I use the same music. Inside your head.
I think you like this song.
And the beats alive. Deep inside. The pressure's high. Now you won't see a live stream, that's smooth. To stay alive. Cause the heat is on. Caught up in the action. I'll be looking out for you. Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? The heat is on. I have the same thing with a different soundtrack. The heat is on. Okay, now let's do. Let's go to Splash Mountain. So this is the crew that were the managers for Splash Mountain. So they were doing this photo shoot and I got to hang out with them for a few minutes. So this is my ending for Splash Mountain. And this is the perfect song.
The Doors.
This is the end.
This took me 3 hours to film because I had to go to the island and film that part.
The end of everything that stands. The end. No safety, no surprise. The end. I'll never look into your eyes.
Use this song for the Death Wheel, which I have. Okay.
I remember when you posted this. It was a good one.
Now we'll go on to this is going to be a funny one. So how do you interact with animals at Disney? I'll show you as soon as I find it. Oh, I wanted to show you how you spruce up the Jungle Cruise. Yeah, see it on Jungle Cruise, the back. I'm taking pictures. You don't show up like you're going to Disneyland right now. You don't even have to wait in line for the attraction. Okay, now how do you interact with the animals at Disneyland? This is the way I interact with them. So let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go.
Oh, you're talking about interacting with real animals. I thought you were talking about interacting with people who don't want to get out of the wrong Dumbo that they got into.
Good one, team.
Yeah, okay.
More
Don't get
casual.
Johnnyland started.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, I love Jaws music.
That would have been bad if something would have came and ate the duck, but okay. And let's see.
Or the Mark Twain ran into it.
Out here. We'll just show a few more. So this is what I did for last Halloween. I think, you know what? I want to be the John Carpenter at Disneyland. So this was my idea of that. And I literally filmed this about 4 inches from the deck. Now this is really hard to film walking in that low to the ground without having a dolly. Okay. And then we'll show a couple more, unless you guys want me to keep going. I have hundreds. So I thought, you know what? Let's do kind of a little bit of a Titanic thing. So thinking, okay, what can I do with that? So this was my take. A lot of editing on this one. Okay, and now I'll show you the wildest
Nice.
DJ at the villains dance party. Let me
That's funny.
see.
Theme park
Let
casual.
me see if it was this. Let me see if it was this one. Wait a second. No, not that one. Hold on. So last year, the
ready to
villains
dance.
dance party, they had this DJ, and what you want to watch is towards the end where Maleficent, the cast member that plays Maleficent, she's like, "What the heck?" Okay, watch this. And she's a DJ, and all of a sudden she saw me filming and just like opened up.
And when the sun goes down and the moon comes up, I turn into a teenage.
You didn't normally do this.
Yeah, I cruise through the city and I
And then I'll
roam the
pause it when I
streets,
get to Maleficent.
looking for
And when
someone
the music
that
is timed like perfect.
You better duck when I show up. The Goo Mob.
Whatever she had to drink, I wanted some. Now watch this. See Maleficent? She looks over at her like, "What the hell are you doing?" Watch this.
I'm the night-head hunter looking for some head.
She was definitely on something. Okay.
Were you laughing at me, theme park casual?
I'm laughing at everything right now.
Yeah.
Okay, these last two are funny. So this one will be the
last two? You
funniest
said
one.
2-3 times ago.
I know. I got to keep going. So this one will be the last one because this is the funniest one. So this is my idea of going on the death wheel, Danny, which you're never going to get me on.
This is the end.
Yeah, it'll be the end if I go on it.
We're gonna get you on it, all right.
The end of our elaborate plans. The end of everything that stands. The end.
Looks awesome. I don't know what you're scared about.
Your surprise. The end. I'll never look.
Yeah, never look into your eyes again. Get it? Yeah, how true. Okay, so now you guys all know what my feeling is about bubble wands. So I got this cast member to help me out with this reel, and the music says it all.
Evil.
Yeah, they are.
Evil is his one and only name.
This has to be my favorite reel.
Evil. In his mind there is no other game.
Okay,
jeez.
That's my sixth sense of humor for Disneyland. So we can now move on if you want to the next topic, or chat wants me to keep going.
Well, here's one thing, Steve. That I saw somebody in the chat saying that you should do. You need to teach.
Mermaid.
So yeah, Mermaid Plan said you should teach.
Teach
so
what? Photography? I did photography for 30 years.
No, but doing just little tips. I mean, like you showed when you were doing the deck in Frontierland, it's about perspective. Get a perspective that most people wouldn't normally see. So take your phone, hold it upside down, and hold it close to the floor as you're walking. To set a mood. And then other tricks, like when you were on the Mark Twain, you didn't just quickly pan to show the deck. You were as if you were watching your step. You looked at the floor in front of you and then rose up. A lot of people don't understand that those are those little setting the tone type of shots that give people that it's like, well, why does his reels look so different? Why do I feel different when I'm watching them? And it's because, like you were saying, depending on where you're sitting in the coaster, you're catching more things that are of interest. It's not just the track in front of you. You're actually seeing coaster moving around. You're anticipating the turns coming up, and you're seeing things happen in different ways. And I think if
Yeah,
you
I
could
would take the whole 2 hours if I did that. So
no, but if you break it up and you say, okay, we're going to talk about getting interesting perspectives. We're going to talk about setting, the mood for your shots. We're going to, start develop, here's how you can create a story by getting key sections of different parts. And there's a lot of people that don't understand that kind of thing. They've never been taught that. And it would be really cool if maybe, you did, some little, 3-5 minute videos of just talking about one little topic each time, and people could go and say, oh, wow, after I've watched, 6 or 7 of his videos, all my reels look really cool now.
maybe we could do that. Oh, I got one more I got to show. This is how to get seasick at Disneyland.
Sorry, guys, I tried to get us out of it, but he got us back in.
So this is how I get seasick
at least the rapids.
Disneyland. Again, this is like you say, perspective.
Right.
Low angle, photograph the water.
Being the only one on the raft, you're not getting wet.
Oh, I did get wet, but that's besides the point. And it's an underwater camera, so that doesn't matter. So the best part of this is I got to hang off the edge for like 15 or 20 seconds, which is like the best perspective, which is right coming up. So how often you get to see this? Now that is a cool perspective.
Yeah.
I almost had my hand in the water. I'm surprised they didn't call me out. Okay, like you said, we could keep talking on this for hours. So I'll turn it back to Cordy or Bob.
Oh, thank goodness. I mean, thank you, Steve. That was great.
Anyway, you can go check out these reels on my Instagram page.
But I agree with Think Like
Sorry,
Casual.
here.
These are great. This would be something, I mean, it's just something to think about, like share on here, share on your YouTube channel, like different, because it is true. A lot of us may not know all of these different techniques, right? And you wonder, how did they do that? So I think that would be great.
That now you know why I don't go live that often.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Steve, I'm in awe of your photography.
This takes literally my whole day to plan and what you have in mind. So
you're very methodical, but amazing photography. You always do a great job, and I like what you've had to share with us. So thank you again.
Okay, I'll turn it back to you guys now.
Thank you, Steve. We're going to segue into kind of like first time events. Theme Park Casual attended the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Some recaps.
Gosh, what was that? Last night?
Last night.
It was last night. Gosh. So first time. So he's going to share his experience and what he thought there. And then after that, mine was HHN, so we'll do that after. But we just wanted to talk about some of our first experiences at these events. So Theme Park Casual, take it away.
Yeah, I got to go to Oogie Boogie Bash last night on basically almost a whim that Miss Casual is part of a Facebook group, and somebody in the group said, hey, I've got a ticket for Sunday. I think this was Friday when they announced it, and said, hey, I've got a ticket for Sunday. Well, somebody can't go. If anybody can go, the ticket's theirs. So Miss Casual messaged them saying, hey, my husband's already going to be at Disneyland that day. He would love to go. And they messaged back saying, oh, we had somebody already claim the ticket, but since he's going to be there, would it be okay to, would he be okay to be a backup in case it falls through? So we said, sure, of course. And so I went, met up with Bob there. We had some lunch, and then we were supposed to know by 3:30 if I had the ticket or not. 3:30 comes and goes, no word. So at, about 4 o'clock, we decide, all right, well, it's obvious the ticket's not mine. So let's just go into Disneyland and go have a fun night at Disneyland. So we go in and we're trying to figure out what to do. And we realize, oh, Columbia, it's got the last sailing of the day. Let's go do that. So we go get in line for that. I messaged Miss Casual and I said, it's a bummer. I was so close to having the ticket. And as soon as I send that, she texts back saying, hang on, I think she's texting me right now. Sure enough, she says, the ticket's yours. Go meet him at the front of DCA. So I look over at Bob and I say, I got to go. And I head over there.
Go.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, dude, get out of here. Go. So I met them at the front. They got me in, and, that was that. And they said, hey, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. This is so great. And they said, oh, no problem. We just didn't want the ticket to go to waste. Have a great night. So they take off. I take off. And I think Steve put it early before we went live that I was just like so happy. I was giddy last night. And I really was. I mean, number one, it was just the fact that somebody was that generous, and just kind of put it out there and didn't, say, hey, we've got a ticket if you want to buy it off us, or anything. They gave me the ticket for free. And, so shout out to Heather for doing that. Extremely generous. I was over the moon all night long. But then getting in there and doing all the special event stuff, the meeting the Villains Grove, the parade. In the live stream, I say, I wasn't exactly a Oogie Boogie Bash hater, but I did not see the value in it. It was the kind of thing where, meeting the villains, not a big deal. Getting a lot of candy, not a big deal. Villains Grove, I really wanted to see. Parade was fun. But after going through it and being able to interact with, the villains through the treat trails, carrying around this big old bag, it's the little bag, but I had it overflowing with candy. I could have got like 3 bags worth. Having fun, going through Villains Grove, which is by far the highlight of Oogie Boogie Bash. I kind of get why this is such a big deal, why it's such a hot ticket item for so many people. When I was walking through, I was like, I feel like it's got the energy of a Scary Farm, but it's safe for the whole family, which was nice. Because when you're at Scary Farm, you realize, if you see somebody with, like a 6-year-old, you're like, why do you have them here? You shouldn't be having them here. It's like you kind of get that attitude. Where at Disneyland, it was like, it's going to be fine. Everybody can have fun. Everybody's in costumes. The costumes were off the chain. It was insane, some of the costumes, and I felt so underdressed. If I ever do it again, I am definitely going to be wearing a costume, even if it's the kind of thing where maybe I get a ticket or not. I'll go in costume and just in case. But it was so much fun. I can't believe that I poo-pooed it as much as I used to. So I will not be bashing it the same way that I used to. It was definitely a fun night. But I do have to say, I was walking, I think, the entire time, other than when I stopped to wait for the parade. So it was go, 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 go the entire night. And I was feeling it this morning. My feet were killing me. My knee was hurting. But it was really cool. I had a blast. Villains Grove is so much better than I thought it was going to be, and I already thought it was going to be something really cool. When I was doing it the first time, walking through the first time, I had the gimbal. I was doing the live stream. I had my other phones. I was trying to capture, other footage. When I got to the end, I literally forgot to capture footage. I was so enthralled. I was so in the moment of it that I was just like, this is amazing. I totally forgot to get additional footage. So I had to go back and do it after. And in fact, I don't even think I ever did at the end, because it's like I almost didn't want to ruin the moment. It was that good at the end of Villains Grove. And I even said, I was like, I don't even know how they did it. I don't know what they did, but it was like I had just an emotional experience going through those last 3 scenes. And so I definitely recommend Oogie Boogie Bash if you can get there now. So that's how quickly it changed my perspective on it, is that it is a ton of fun. that one. I think everybody. Have you gone, Steve?
4 nights next year.
Steve, have you been to Oogie Boogie Bash ever?
No, I haven't, but I won't make that mistake next year.
Okay, yeah. See,
I'll get the tickets whether I go or not. So
yeah, it's something like now if I don't get a ticket for Oogie Boogie Bash, I'm going to be it's really going to be the FOMO happening. I'm going to be sitting there.
The weird thing was I was in the queue, my time came up, and then I said, I don't know if I want to go. What a mistake.
Because yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was amazed, and I'm awkward when it comes to the characters, and I just kind of went with it. So, in fact, Bob, do you have that picture available?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was going to say, where's the picture? Where's the picture?
You know what? Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me bring it up and find it real quick. I apologize. I did not have that one ready.
So, like I said, I'm awkward with the characters, So, but everybody wanted to go see the Sanderson sisters, and I was like, well, do we want to see them from afar? Do you want me to get in line? And then they're all, yeah, take your picture with them and everything. So I did, and I'm giving Minnie a hug, giving Clarabelle a hug, and we're doing the little poses and stuff. And I look back at the photos and I'm like, oh my God, I look so stiff and awkward and just terrible. And then we went to meet Lotso. And so I was like, all right, let's go meet Lotso. It'll probably be hilarious. It'll be fun. It's a character you can't meet just anywhere. So, but I left, they have the little tables where you can put your stuff down while you go take your picture. So I put the gimbal down with the live stream facing the meet and greet. And so I do the meet and greet, and then we go get in line to go see Sid from Toy Story. And Mrs. Casual happened to send me a screen grab from the live stream. And as soon as we can get it up here, Bob will post it.
Yes. Sorry. Give me 1 sec. I forgot to load it up. Unfortunately, I can't just share a photo on the screen.
Oh,
you have to
okay.
Set up the PDF and everything. So I'm getting that right now, but just give me a moment.
Okay. So yeah, it was like I said, I was awkward with the characters, but I did my best to try to start coming out of my shell when it comes to that and try to just, not be shy about it and just, we're all having fun. But we ended up getting ignored by Sid because he was making fun of somebody ahead of us. And then as soon as we were in line, somebody did something over on the other side. So he focused on them and I didn't get insulted. So I was a little disappointed with that. But we made, Cruella twirled for us because she saw we were filming. So she got up and said, oh, you've got to get the whole thing, darling. And she spun around with the dress and everything. And then, what's Tangled's mom's name? Is it Lady Gothel?
Danny, I told you what to tell Sid in your chat, but you chickened out.
What was it with Sid? Oh. I couldn't read. We never even got a chance to interact with him.
Okay, so here's the thing. So when you get up to Sid, you tell Sid, I'm going to call your mother. And his response is going to be, you don't know my mother. And then he asks for a comeback and you say, yeah, I do. I went out with her last night.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Then see what his comeback is.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got the picture to share. So give me just a moment to share this real quick.
So yeah, Mrs. Casual sent this picture to me while we were waiting. And if you guys saw on the live stream, I just started cracking up. I think some of you may have seen it. I posted it on YouTube.
Yeah, here we go. There it is.
I don't even know what's going on there. It's like, is that really how my posture is? I'm like, what?
It's like, I love you, man. I love you too. That's awesome, though. I love it.
Or it's like great. A Rocky photo. It could be either way. It could be like, all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen to me. What? You want to go rounds? Let's do it.
Yeah. Come at me.
Oh, it's already been brought in.
I just think it's great that Miss Casual actually took that screenshot and sent it to you. I mean that's
yeah, awesome. I know. I was like, that's what you send me. You know, you're watching the live stream. It's like, oh my God, look at this. It's like, thanks.
But isn't that right? I mean, spouses usually send you the best of whatever you're doing at the time.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, Jetta J says he's asking TPC if he smells like strawberry.
Yeah, no kidding.
Although I will say that is one thing I was kind of disappointed with. It's like they should have had a little strawberry scent being pumped out somewhere near him, so that when you get around there, you're just like, oh, it smells like strawberries all over here.
Right, exactly. I agree. That's a great photo. I love that. Okay, so I got a question for you, Casual, and that is, and I brought this up earlier, but when I went to Oogie Boogie, I felt like I barely had enough time to do everything that I wanted to, and I still didn't have time to cover. Like, you got a bunch of characters. I mean, some of the lines that I wanted to go into were super long for Lotso or even the Sanderson sisters, et cetera, et cetera. But you seem to get most everything done you wanted to in that time, but I felt like I didn't. So do you feel like you had enough time to go, even though it was only a 5-hour event?
I got to do everything I wanted to. I got to do Villains Grove 3 times. We saw pretty much all the interactions with the villains. So I got to see Judge Doom do his thing. We got to see Ernesto sing his song. Trying to think I don't think any of the others really have a performance the way those two do. But we got to see them all. I don't know if this was a slightly lighter attended night. I don't know. I mean, I thought all of them sell out, so I figured, capacity is the same. But the lines did not seem bad once the night got going. It's like once the parade happened, it seemed all the lines were very manageable. And we even did the death wheel. It said 5-minute wait, but it ended up being a little bit longer than that. I think it was like about a 10 to 15-minute wait. We almost did Guardians, but then I was like, no, we could come back to Guardians because Monsters After Dark happens, throughout the week. So I'll be back on Wednesday, so we could do that Wednesday. So I skipped that one. But then as we were passing Death Wheel, I was like, let's do Death Wheel.
Yeah.
So, and like when we went through a couple of the characters, it was like there was almost no line. Like Lotso, it was, I think, a 5 to 10-minute wait for him, which, seems kind of odd. But I don't know if it's that, most people had already waited, or they just had passed him when there was a long line, skipped it, and never went back to that part of the park. So, but yeah, and Villains Grove, it was never see Lotso. Okay. I was gonna say Villains Grove never got past the signage that's just like out front with the map and everything. It was literally only just about maybe 10, 15 people outside at any time I went by.
Oh, see, it was a totally different experience for me because the line went all the way down past the hotel to that billboard that's by the plane that Pluto's usually, next to taking photos. And so, headed straight towards, Judge Doom. So it was pretty long. And so my experience was all the lines for the villains were really long. I think I got to ride 2 rides that night. It was a lot busier than I expected it to be. And like I said, I felt like I didn't have enough time. Sounds like it was not very busy for you. So you're able to get done, everything you want to, including going through Villains Grove 3 times. That's amazing.
Yeah. The first time we went to Villains Grove at like probably right around 7:00, there was literally no line. And it was like the best time for it because there were so few people in there that I was able to just kind of linger and catch, sit there and watch some of the scenes kind of play over during the live stream without very many people in the way. So yeah, it was kind of odd possibly because I've seen the live streams where, the line, it extends down and it's a switch back all the way up from the entrance down to the hotel entrance. And so, yeah, I don't know. The only line that we really waited in was Oogie Boogie and Sid, if I can recall, because Ernesto, it just like moved so quick. The thing that was holding us up was getting candy. Other than that, we were moving the whole time. When we did Cruella, there was like almost nobody in line, so we were just moving through. Like I said, it was the candy that was slowing people down. So yeah, I guess a really good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen says to me, I'm sure the closer to Halloween, the less packed it'll be. So it'd probably be better when you do this next time, Bob. So I'm actually going on Thursday for my daughter's birthday, and we'll see how it is on Thursday. I'm not going to stream, but it should be interesting to see how it was at the beginning in September when I went on September 12th compared to October 26th. So I hope you're right, Jen.
So speaking of first time going to an event, Cordy, you got to go to one of the big ones, which is HHN here in SoCal.
Yeah, because I'm an old pro now that I've gone to Not Scary Farm.
Oh yeah.
So,
you don't even get scared anymore.
I will say, I'll start with, if whoever's been to all of these or both, I feel like I really enjoy Knott's. And in my opinion, I felt like Universal was very like grandiose and just like, fire and this and that. But I'm really enjoying Not Scary Farm just because of just the interactions, right? You have like real interactions with the scare actors and the shows that they put on. I love. So that's what I got out of it. Like, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I can go back to Not Scary Farm. Not to say that I didn't also say I was thinking about getting a frequent fear pass next year for Universal. But, the drive, that's the other thing. I'm 10 minutes from Knott's. And who knows how far from Universal, depending on the day. But, but yeah, and I'm not going to bore you with a lot of stuff, but I just wanted, can I show this? Should I do share screen? Is that the best way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I won't. Where is it? Well, anyways, I wasn't planning to go to HHN, but one of my sons who lives in the Bay Area, actually, let's just see. I need a window. Was coming to town for Son of Monsterpalooza, a horror convention in Burbank. So it just worked out that we were able to do this. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to bring it up so I could show you guys. But,
and by the way, everybody, HHN is Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood, in case anybody doesn't know.
So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I was just kind of talk but yeah, so this was our first just kind of entering in, right? You go in, and so I went with two of my sons and Daniela Camacho,
who can't see Cordy
sometimes, and that's my son Chris's girlfriend. So it was funny because she's always like, oh, I love these things, I love these events, but then they were going after her because she's just small. So of course they all wanted to get her.
Cordy, we can't see it.
And everything. But I just
we
did
can't
little
see
highlights.
it.
I thought it was a really.
You can't see it, Cordy.
Oh, you can't see anything? Darn it!
No, because you have to share it and I have to bring it up.
How do I do that? Sorry.
You have to present.
Hold on. Anyways, we'll just go over it. So I think something's weird there. But anyways, I thought it was really a great event. We were able to get through all of the mazes, and they have eight haunted houses, I guess not mazes. And they're all, you can hear me now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they're, it's the big ones: Exorcist, Stranger Things, Chucky, Evil Dead. What were the other ones? Last of Us, which I wasn't familiar with. I think it's a video game, right? But Monsters Unmasked,
Stranger Things,
Holidays in Hell. Yeah, Stranger Things was one of them. And then the Monsters of Latin America. The Terror Tram was really fun because you actually, take the tram, and then you get to walk through the area where you normally would take the tram through. So, and then they have they have the set from Nope, or that's how they have it set up, right? What is it? Jupiter's. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my thoughts. But yeah, so you kind of walk through there, but then they also had characters from another one of his movies, which Us. So they're running around there too. So it was pretty cool. And you get to walk past the, Psycho House, and we took pictures with Norman Bates. So I thought it was very well organized. It's humongous. So it was like, I walked more than I ever do at Disneyland, I feel. So definitely recommend. I would recommend it if you enjoy these. Maybe try a night. It was a little. What was it? Oh, that's why we went on Thursday. Because I was trying to find the most inexpensive night to go, because the weekends get pretty pricey. But I think I think it might have been $79 or something like that per person to get in on a weeknight, and we're a little bit closer to Halloween, so I think it's a little less expensive if you go early on in the season. And then I think like a frequent fear pass is $229. It's not bad. Like, I thought about it because I'm like, oh, that's not that much of a jump if you're going to go multiple times. So, but I think it's better if you go early in the season. But yeah, it was great. It's loud, right? Lots of like rock music playing, and but they had food set up. They had these really nice bar areas that you could just kind of get away from the scare actors, because they still came into that area, so you really weren't safe anywhere except the bathrooms. But yeah, I had a great time. Everybody had a wonderful time. My kids loved it, so it was a win for that night. Loved it.
Yeah, I've never been to HHN, so I'm curious. I think like you mentioned, I that's how I view the differences, is that HHN is has the production value of Hollywood obviously behind it, but Knott's has that more intimate, kind of feel. So I'd be curious to see how I would do at HHN, because I really love Scary Farm, and part of it is that homegrown IP that they have with their mazes. They don't have the big names like Exorcist or Stranger Things to kind of give people that setting and pre-understanding of a story. So they have to set everything up themselves and tell you that story and get you to believe it and fall into it, on their own. And I love how they've kind of built up their own lore with Sarah Marshall and everything. But HHN, I've heard that the production value is just absolutely top notch, and that everything looks spectacular when you're there in the mazes.
Yeah. And I wish I could have shown you some of that, because I pulled some really good clips if I could figure it out. I mean, it's still up. My live is on my channel. So, and it was really clean. The reception was really good for me. So, the video came out really clean and, pretty sharp. So, yeah, I would definitely say the production value. I think that it's predictable, because it's almost like on a timer, right? The jump scares, like where not Scary Farm, you don't know. I think it's more spontaneous, right? Inside of the mazes, and of course walking around the scare zones. But I did find that like everything's seemed to be timed.
Okay.
In their haunted houses. But yeah, but it was amazing, and then they had the shows. We watched The Purge, which is where the Waterworld show is normally. And then they have the Blumhouse, where they're showing Megan and the Five Nights at Freddy's. So that's a cool little show. And did we see another one? I feel like we saw something else, but maybe not. But and then they had one area themed on the lower level, because that's where Stranger Things was. They had an area that was all set up like Stranger Things. They had the ice cream shop and the pizza place. So, you kind of were not immersed, because but you're like, I was like, oh wait, that's the pizza place. Pineapple pizzas. You kind of get the feel of it. So I thought that was pretty cool that they did that as well. Oh, and I'm not a Harry Potter person. That's I don't know why, but I'm just not. But when you have to go through what is it, Hogwarts?
Hogsmeade.
So you have to go through there to get to Chucky and I think another one. So, but that was cool because they're the Death Walkers. Is that right? Is that what they're called?
Death Eaters.
Death Eaters. They were walking.
Clearly, you are not a Harry Potter fan. That's
it.
I gotta leave this chat.
But you walk through there, and I mean, that was probably one of the scarier parts of it was that part because they have those masks and they just like would stand there and they're very, they were just like towering over you. So they picked some great, people to play these parts, but. That was very cool. Whether you like Harry Potter or not, it was a cool experience through there.
Very cool. Well, I had a chance to actually go to the buffet at Not Scary Farm the other night. So my dad and I went to Not Scary Farm. He wanted to check it out and go, and he wanted to go to the buffet. Now, I have not been to the buffet this season until that point, and I'd been to it many, many times before. But to me, I always felt like the food was just okay. And the great thing about going to the buffet is obviously you get to go to some mazes early, as well as get to ride Ghost Rider before it opens up to the main event at 7 p.m. for everyone. So this year we went, and it was a little different. We went there at 5 p.m. We actually got there at 4:30 in line. By the time we got up at 4:40, they checked us in, let us go in right away, which is great. And then when we went into the buffet, we went to the Knott's Chicken Restaurant for the buffet. All the overflow goes over to Spurs. So when we went to the buffet, I'm going to show you some of the photos that we have here. Let me blow this up so I can see.
And just so you guys know, it is actually called the buffet. He's not pronouncing it funny.
The buffet. So at the buffet, so here they had a salad bar where the lady and gentleman is standing right there, and then ironically, they had cinnamon rolls in this container right here where the silver dish is, but they also had a bar, so if you wanted to buy drinks, you could, and everything was themed inside. They did have this is where you can get rolls, and then they had in the little hot dish containers there, they had different gravies or sauces, and then they had turkey, they had a turkey leg, and they had roast beef that at the carving station right there, which is kind of cool. They also had this is a shrimp cocktail. Now, I will tell you, most of the food was really, really good, but the shrimp cocktail, some of it was still raw, so not so good on this one. But it was nice that they had a huge, and I know this looks kind of small. I did a wide angle. It was a huge display, and they had horseradish, or not horseradish, but the shrimp cocktail sauce, etc., and lemons for you to get. So I'm gonna do these a little out of order because they didn't load up correctly. But this is dessert. Now I will tell you they had a ton of desserts, and we'll go through some of those in a little bit. But these were the three that I picked out for dessert that night. And of course, it was a boysenberry pie, which I love boysenberry pie. They did have a red velvet cake right here with the 50th anniversary printed on white chocolate. And then the best dessert I thought was there that night was this ice cream sandwich. It was a sugar cookie. It's almost like a snickerdoodle cookie with ice cream inside and just a spot of boysenberry in the middle. It was really fresh, really good. Oh, my dad and I loved it. Speaking of other desserts, they had right here, they had fruit pops. And then these were the ice cream sandwiches I just told you that were so good. These are the serving dishes. They had basically everything duplicated on both sides. So this is one side. And just to let you know what they were serving that night, they had, and I might miss a couple things here, but they had the Knott's fried chicken. They also had a grilled chicken with a nice cream sauce with mushrooms. They also had enchiladas. They had what else? They had vegetables. They had macaroni and cheese. Oh, speaking of which, I think this is coming up. They had, oops, no, not yet. They had macaroni and cheese. They had hot Cheeto macaroni and cheese, which I have a picture of that coming up here in a moment. They also had gravy. They had the biscuits. They had, what else do they have? Had all sorts of good stuff. Oh, with the shrimp cocktail, I forgot to mention they also had a sushi bar there with some sushi, so that was good. Here's the desserts. They had all sorts of cheesecakes and cakes, which is great, and pies. They also had this was pecan pies. Actually, they're pecan tarts, and then this is where the red velvet cakes were. They also had a tortilla bar, so you can have tortillas or chips and salsa. They also had a butternut squash soup. So that looked good. I didn't have it. Here's your mac and cheese, the hot Cheeto mac and cheese. I did not have it, but I know my daughter would have been seventh heaven because she loves hot Cheeto anything. And then I think the other cool thing was that while we were eating, they actually had the scare actors come around and talk to us. And it was neat because they didn't come in to scare people. They just came in to talk to us. And so this guy's name's Gecko. He came in, he's like, "Oh, what are you eating? What's going on? Oh, what is?" I mean, he was playing the part of, being a scare actor, but he was being funny and everything. The funny thing was I brought this photo on my phone and I was getting ready to post it on social media. Another scare actor comes up and goes, "Hey, I know that guy." And I'm like, "Oh, Gecko?" And he goes, "Oh, I know him too." He goes, "But I'm talking about you." They were just trying to be funny. And I thought it was really, really neat. And then we got a picture with another scare actor too. And he was totally acting the part of being a funny clown, but also being kind of, mischievously, nightmarish, if you will. But it was a lot of fun. And what was really cool is seeing them interact, because usually when they're in Ghost Town or the Carnival or wherever they happen to be, they're not really talking to a lot of people, depending on what their character is, right? Especially the people in Ghost Town, they don't really talk to you. They're just like, snorting, things like that. So it was neat really getting to talk to them, and they really interacted with the people a lot. And so that was a lot of fun. So after we were done eating, we actually were done by, I think, 5:50 p.m. And so we headed over to, they take you to the back way over by Ghost Rider to enter into the park. And unfortunately, Ghost Rider was open, but the mazes weren't open yet. Those don't open until 6:30, but Ghost Rider was. So we could get on Ghost Rider as many times as we wanted to. And it was really cool because this is how busy Ghost Rider was when we got there. There was no one there. We got in the front line. That is great. You never see Ghost Rider like that, right? And that's pretty much how it was for quite a while until people caught on. Oh, it's open. We can go ride it. So there weren't very many people riding Ghost Rider, and it was great. And then at 6:30, they opened up the 4 mazes, which was and the tribute store, legacy store. So that's Waxworks, the Depths, Bloodlines, and Dark Entities. So my dad and I went up through the Depths and Dark Entities, the Depths and Bloodlines, and then we headed over to the opening ceremony so that he could see what it was like when the conductor comes out with the monsters and everything. Unfortunately, we were there, but right where the entrance is for Ghost Riders, where they have you stop, it's a bummer because you cannot see the witch. And unless you're down at the very, very end at the beginning of Ghost Town and you kind of look back by the SA office, you can't see the witch whatsoever. So that's a little bit of a bummer for the people who, pay to go to the buffet, theme park casual, and they pay extra to go to it, but then they can't see the witch. You can hear her, and it's really cool. Since I've already been there several times, and I've seen her a couple times, the opening, ceremonies, to me, it wasn't a big deal, but it was kind of a bummer because I wanted my dad to see it. And he couldn't see it. But thankfully, he's seen my live streams and Theme Park Casuals live streams and others, so he's seen it before. But it was really, really cool. So we had a lot of fun. I think that the buffet had the best food this year compared to previous years. So I'm glad that the food seemed to be, and I don't know if it's because of the 50th anniversary or if they decided, hey, we're going to up our game. It was definitely better. Now, there's a few things that weren't so great, but I will tell you the turkey was tender and juicy. The chicken was great as always. I mean, there's some really, really good things to get. And desserts, man, they had tons of desserts. It was crazy how much they had for desserts. I mean, almost an overload of desserts. So they did a great job. And hey, real quick, and because I was there and I did buy some pins and stuff. Brian Sevilla said, if you want Scary Farm pins, they're only available in the back lot where the early entrance mazes are. So it's a great location to go get them. So if you do want to get them, I know they have some pins over in Cordy's Corner. Hey, Cordy. In Cordy's Corner, they do have a few, but not very many. They have mostly everything, especially the 50th anniversary ones, all back there. The plaque, the book, the not Scaropoly, all that stuff can be found in the back lot. So thanks for bringing that up there, Brian Sevilla.
And I'm sorry, how much was it again for the?
It was $49.99 for the buffet.
Okay, that's not bad actually.
Yeah, you know what? It's expensive. Are you going to get your money's worth? No, unless you really have a high metabolism, you're not. But for what they gave you and in the early entry, yeah. Yes, I think it was worth it. And it was the best buffet that I've ever been to.
Yeah, last year I did the buffet and the chicken was
theme park.
Yeah, well, like I say, some people, might think you're just pronouncing it funny.
The chicken was what?
But last year the chicken was a disappointment because it was just sitting in the tray for so long that it was getting soggy because they had the cover on it. So it was, the steam and it was sweating and, so all the fried chicken, the coating was all just kind of mush. So it was kind of like, well, that's not really good. So
what time did you go?
First thing, I was like one of the, I think 4:30, 5 o'clock people.
Oh yeah, I was too. But the chicken was okay for me and my dad. But yes, I know what you're talking about. I did go back and it was a little bit like that when I went back for seconds. And then Alan's asking, all you can eat? Yes, it's all you can eat buffet. Buffet.
Yeah, I think just a side.
Brian says he usually stays away from the chicken.
If the lid is off,
yeah.
Sure.
Oops.
In comparison, well, it's different, but just Halloween related. But the Goofy Halloween buffet thing or character
at Goofy's Kitchen.
Yeah,
or is it?
I think 60. What was it? 64. I did that last 3 weeks ago. I think I did it. But yeah, that's why I was curious what this one was because it was all you can eat. They had good food. We caught it right at between breakfast and brunch because my friend Victor, he timed it so that we could partake in both, but they didn't limit us or anything, so that was kind of nice, right? For paying that money, we just stayed there as long as we wanted, over 2 hours, almost 3 hours.
Yeah, Goofy's Kitchen, I mean, that one's a really expensive one. I like it because of the characters. Every 15 minutes are coming out to dance and say hi to everyone, and it's really cute. But the food is just okay, and that's a hard one to justify unless you're like going for a special occasion.
The food was good when it was the first time I ever did it. But yeah, they had really good because they had the breakfast stuff, but then we got like they had prime rib that actually was very good. And so I think that's why we got a mix of both. Surprisingly, I didn't like the desserts, which was very strange. But I thought the food was actually really good. 64, I think it was before discount.
You know what? One thing I thought was interesting is Knott's Berry Farm's known for their boysenberry barbecue sauce. And they had andouille sausage, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get this with a barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce was nowhere to be found. They had to go track some down. The waitress had to track some down, bring it over to me. When she brought it over, she brought this little tiny cup like this, and I'm like, oh, thanks. So duly make sure you note that if you want the sauce, you got to ask for it when your server comes. And and also I also forgot to include the fact that when you get the buffet, you do get a souvenir cup, and that souvenir cup is the all-you-can-drink one for the whole entire year. Which we only have a couple months left, but hey, it's the all-you-can-drink, and you don't have to pay extra for it. So that's kind of cool. They give it to you.
All right. Do we have any? Well, I guess I think we covered really all of our topics. Just kind of closing points of interest. Of course, Small World is now closed.
Yep.
Holiday overlay, so we'll see that
It is.
November 10th. So that's something happening at Disneyland, the Mark Twain. I don't know if you guys know when that's coming back, but I know that is under Scrim. It's completely covered, so seems like a pretty big refurb for the Mark Twain. Trying to think if there was anything else, just kind of things off the top of my head, like as from being there yesterday, you kind of like, oh yeah, this, the little things that have come up. But that's all I can think of. Anything else that you guys have seen or heard that might be of interest to our Disneyland folks?
No, Theme Park Casual shared on his live stream last week. They already started putting the snow.
Yes.
Yep.
On the castle.
Snow is on the
I'm kind of
cap.
bummed out because we're not even out of October yet.
Yeah, last night it was like on all of the spires. We were trying to figure out what those were called.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yep. I was watching Fresh
all the
Baked.
Dumbos the same color. You're gonna paint all the Dumbos the same color.
That's funny, Steve.
Done.
Donnyland.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching Fresh Baked, and apparently all the scaffolding is down from the treehouse.
It is. I saw it last night.
There's the possibility the
move the
treehouse
Hungry
could come
Bear restaurant
online.
up there.
It would at least explain what took them so long.
Yeah, no kidding. I honestly think they're going to open up here in the next week or two. I mean, they had everything up. It looked like it was open, but it wasn't. They saw the wood fence up around it. So, yep, all the walls were still up. But it looked completely done and complete, and it was all lit up. So I can't wait to finally go back on it.
Yeah.
Right. Any
That's more
questions from our
exercise than the
audience?
canoes.
What was that?
That's more exercise than the canoes.
Oh, yeah, it is. Actually, it's the treehouse is
Lots of steps.
workout. Mm-hmm. Just
But the
wanted
canoes
to-
will work your shoulders.
Yeah, I know. So you have to do both. You
Yep.
get your upper body workout on the canoes, and then head over to the treehouse to get your steps in. Why not?
Yeah.
So do we have any questions from anyone in the chat for us?
Holiday canoes, yes.
Holiday canoes. That's funny. Oh boy, that is funny.
We need a haunted small world and haunted.
Cordy's gonna do this. Cordy's
Island.
gonna do the subs and the canoes next trip.
Sure.
Wow, amazing.
I don't know. We're getting close to the swinging gondolas, so you better be careful. Cordy.
Yeah.
Not for 10,000 subs.
Well,
She'll probably
Randy Pitbull's
be
news on
the
Phantasmic
now
returning.
I have not heard anything about Phantasmic other than the last we heard was spring, as is the nearest.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Is
that's
Hope on? I had a special
Okay.
reel. I had a special reel I put together just for Hope. Is she in anybody's chat?
I have not seen her in the chat.
I haven't seen her.
I put a special electrical parade
So-
reel together.
Jen, I think we're going to talk about. Oh, wow. Well, Jen, I think we're going to talk about when we're streaming next in a moment. But any other questions, comments, sarcastic remarks?
Foolish mortal.
about if they're going to have any. Well, we've had a few. Almost choked. There's the well, they added the. Oh gosh, this is the time of night when my brain just the New Orleans, the show, right? The projection show.
The Heart of New Orleans.
Heartbeat
of New Orleans.
So we've got that, and then is there something else that we're adding? Isn't there one more?
They are doing Mickey's Mix Magic. Will be taking over for
Between
fireworks.
1st and the 10th.
Yep.
Okay.
I will be there. I'm scheduled to be there on November 3rd for the first showing of Mixed Magic with Fireworks.
Very good.
So we will be getting our ears on.
Get your ears on.
I like that song. I know everybody hates it, but I like it.
Do you play it at home all the time?
Not all the time.
Okay.
No wonders, but we'll take it, I guess.
I love it.
All right.
Brian Sevilla says in HHN news, Chucky Bucket is back in stock at the studio store and the store next to the Transformers. Good
Those
to
are
know.
actually really cute. They need the Hello Kitty one, though. They need the Hello Kitty back.
He also said that look for the HHN merch to get discounted big this week. So if you're going there, hey, check it out. Good news.
Thank you, Brian. All right. So I think if there's no other questions, we're going to close it out for tonight. So we'll just kind of go around the horn again. Adventures in the Park. Remind everybody where they can find you and when your next live stream will be.
Adventures in the Park, Instagram, you already know that. TikTok, same. It's kind of a repeat of Instagram, YouTube. I'll be at the park this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going live or just doing my own filming thing. We'll see. I'll be there before the chickens get up.
He's not kidding.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
He is at the structure before 6 a.m.
Yes. It's crazy.
I'm at the structure before 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
If there's no traffic, which there isn't at that hour.
I'm just going to sleep and he's
go
just...
early or go home. Yeah. A week ago when I was getting up to go at 3:30, and I'm only about 45 minutes from Disneyland, I saw Bob on Line Green on Instagram, or Danny, I forget who it was. And I was like, yeah, you getting ready to go to Disneyland? See you there in an hour.
All right. Well, thank you.
Too funny.
And Theme Park Casual, where can we find you and when's your next live stream?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter /X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. I will be live at Disneyland on Wednesday, and then I am hoping to be there Friday. We will see. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the day off, but Friday I should be at Disneyland in the evening if I can get a reservation. And if I can get the day off, I will be at Not Spooky Farm to check out the Bob Baker Marionette Show. And I will be live I'll be going live on Friday if I'm able to get the day off from Knott's and then Disneyland.
Sounds good. All right, Barry Place 28.
Speaking of reservations, Cordy, speaking of reservations real quick, it looks like the algorithm is very, very predictable now. So anybody that's trying to get a reservation, I've been watching it and did analytics on it, and it is opened up later in the evening the day before and in the morning. Literally, I don't have to make a reservation. I could get up at 3:30 and go that same day and not worry about getting a strike. It's almost open every day for the last 2 weeks, even Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah. I mean, there's not a person there that's controlling it. It's an algorithm just like YouTube. So right now the algorithm is that. Just the FYI.
Perfect. All right, Barry Place 28. Where can we find you and when is your next live stream?
Well, you can find me at Barry Place 28 on YouTube, X, Instagram, and on TikTok. And I will be streaming tomorrow night at Disneyland. And I am 22 people away from hitting my 1,000 subscribers. So I will be joining these 3 people down here. So please, help me get there. And if you would join me tomorrow night, and then we'll be doing hopefully another stream, maybe this coming weekend, but we'll see. I'm not sure about after tomorrow night, but because I've got my daughter's birthday on Wednesday, and then we're doing Oogie Boogie, but I'm not going to stream that night because it's just a family night. So catch me tomorrow night and come join the fun.
Wonderful. And I saw, I
Awesome.
just wanted to give Brian just hit his 1K this month.
All right.
Yay.
Congrats,
Congrats,
Brian.
Brian. Yay. Very cool.
Very nice.
And just a reminder, everyone, don't forget to hit that like button for all of our channels. Please take the time to go to each of our channels and hit the like button for our stream, as we are definitely, showing this from all of our different channels. We appreciate your help and support, and thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect. So again, Cordy in California on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and Cordy and Cali 1 on X. I'm think I'll be at the park tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out my schedule for this week. So trying to go tomorrow, and then I really want to go to Not Scary Farm with just to like take it all in without just film for myself. Wednesday, hopefully, and then Friday is Not Scary Farm again. We have one of our viewers coming in. The Dapper Rob is in town this week, so he's doing Disneyland and Not Scary Farm. So we'll get to meet up with him this week. So that'll be really nice.
That's right.
But yeah, like Bob said, if you could, just give us all a like. If you're not already subscribed to, all of our channels, please consider doing so. And we appreciate you coming out here tonight and hanging out with us.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. So we will say,
Everyone have a great night. Oh,